Okay, back again. Continuing the last little part where Jesus speaks. So if you be sure to watch the section before this to get the meaning of it all, or to listen, I should say. This then brings my thoughts back to the last of my days on earth, and just before I was to bid farewell in the material world, never again to return unto the flesh. Again, he's never going to come back. Then as I was just about to take my last breath, I glanced down. So certainly he was on the cross then if he glanced down, I'm sure. And there stood before me one whom I immediately recognized. She was my mother, the one who enabled me to come into this life to serve as I did. She was also one whom I knew very well in a past life. You have heard me speak of her before when I referred to the seeress who was living in the palace in such great distress. Yes, she was my true mother. Well, he says there, that was his true mother, and he was, as he said earlier, adopted or foster child by someone else. So then today I've returned from my spiritual side of life to let you know that you children who remain in the flesh are to go on and learn your lessons. Never let a day pass when you cannot truly say, I have served this day in a humble way. I have learned and I have enjoyed my life this day, but remember one thing, it is that I manifest occasionally, telling you stories in my humble way. Please endeavor to understand them, for the average man will not believe me today any more than he did during my time. You then, as a divine entity, must realize that your days are few, and soon you are to come over to this side of life. So then prepare yourself now, so that you can receive the blessings when we meet on this beautiful shore. Then you will have revealed unto you your life that shall be greater than all of the lives that you have ever had. These are the finishing up periods. These are the latter days. This is the age when Agasha, as well as other earthly teachers, are to bring forth the light once again. Then it will be proven unto mankind that the change is forthcoming. It is now at hand, disciples of Agasha. There is no other way out of it, and you must try to understand. So then, do as Agasha says, by having laughter in your heart, and by always being mentally alert. Do as Agasha says in all things, and remember that you cannot then go wrong. You and I, in the highest occult field of expression, and you and I are in the highest occult fields of expression, and you and I have the understanding that it is through Agasha's message, through his simple teachings, which he brings forth to clarify the way, that you will be set free in the consciousness of God. Bless you. This is Crail, and good night. Again, Crail is Jesus. All right. We'll go on to this whole new section here, cycles, number, and vibration. This is the master teacher, Agasha, speaking. I have many recordings of him, which I can play later too. Let's see what my time is here. Okay. My blessed disciples, Mansahala, and bless each and every one. Again we have the opportunity of reassembling so that you may absorb the power brought into this room. He's referring here to the meetings that we used to attend where Richard Jenner, the medium, would channel Agasha. And He had quite a distinctive voice, as you may have heard on a previous recording, as opposed to many of the other entities that came through. And he was what they call the high teacher. He would come down from a higher vibration and come in. Okay, he'd be on the same level as Jesus as far as the level of consciousness that he resides in, which I was privileged to see once. Again, that was, words can't describe it. Disciples, in regards to my manifesting, no doubt you have often thought about how difficult it would be for me to select any one single subject, so that if I were to talk only on it in the course of an evening, it would do the most good insofar as reaching the different types of consciousness is concerned. Therefore, I usually cover a variety of subjects in order to hit your individual keynote, as it were, sometime during the course of the class. However, it is not necessary for us to manifest and to be apologetic, because we realize that we are going to reach those who are ready to receive the message and thus understand this beautiful truth. You and I know that our sole purpose in life is to learn, grow, and expand. Therefore, let us absorb what we can and try to receive that particular measure of help which will enable us to enjoy the niceties of life. Occasionally you hear people say that a certain individual is beyond his time. Now, what do we mean by the term beyond his time? It would appear that many men have been beyond their time, because the things that they had talked about and believed in actually came into manifestation some 50 years later. Why is this so? The answer is that their individual life cycle was out of phase with the life cycle of humanity in general. In their various lives, all men go through the cycles that they do, because everything in life is a cycle. But while everything in life goes through a cycle, the cycles do not necessarily harmonize. The high point of one individual being at variance with the high point of another. Therefore, in the forepart of this class tonight, let us try to harmonize our thoughts on the subject, bring them into phase with each other, so that we may have a better understanding of cycles, of the true meaning of number, and that much overused word vibration as well. Just 2 or 3 minutes here. You are told that when you first come into this life, laying aside the subject of astrology for the moment, your soul has a cycle. There are certain cycles that karmically you must go through. Are there those who are capable of knowing these cycles? Some people believe, numerically speaking, that they can calculate precisely when certain cycles are going to transpire and the length of their duration. They will say that during that period of time you will have good luck or bad luck, or whatever it is that is supposed to transpire. Can they do this? Are they able to read these cycles from the Akashic contact? Perhaps they can, but you see, we cannot take too much stock in that at the moment, because we have no way of proving it. However, I might add that your teacher, through his findings in the higher planes, is very capable of giving you the soul cycles and the various material cycles that you will have to go through. Human life goes through cycles, and the earth does also. For instance, every 7,000 years, cataclysms, violent upheavals of either a physical or a social nature, usually take place on the earth. It has always been that way, and as far as we can see, it will be that way in the future. There is the shifting of the earth itself, which causes earthquakes to occur in different parts of the world, islands to sink and others to arise, and sometimes even the complete submergence of an entire continent such as the submergence of Atlantis 172,000 years ago. Nature indeed goes on a rampage. Disease can break out, pestilence can take place, plagues can come into manifestation. Mankind can also be karmically affected through wars, crime, and political upheavals, such as that which you are in evidence of at the present time. All hell seems to come over the face of the earth at the end of every 7,000-year cycle, and your present cycle is no different. It is, as I always say, the pot is boiling over. The boil is coming to a head. Okay, that's all we can do at the moment, and then we'll do another one later. We'll continue on with this. I think it's interesting. I hope you do.